Hello, me again, McCann man. You haven't heard from me for a few months, and I apologise to my subscribers. There weren't that many anyway, but I do apologise to all you loyal subscribers and people who encourage me. And yeah, there's a few people I've let down by not telling them I'm okay, but I'm okay. I'm here. It's been a nice ride on my bike, because I live on my own and I have a lot of time to think, and after the last lot, the epiphany and all of that stuff, we're getting a death threat. This is about the Mccanns, Jerry McCann. The thing was, my own brother, I reached out to my brother for some assistance or encouragement, and what I got back, he told me I was an evil troll. So, you know, it gives you pause. It does give you pause. Because he hadn't read all the Portuguese police files, so they're available in the public domain for anyone to read. So if they've got any doubt about it, just read those police files. They've been redacted as well, unfortunately, and the Mccanns have an uncanny ability to leave bits of incriminating information out of the full glare of the public, which, but that's the story though, isn't it? Because I've got to talk about God again in a minute. That was the whole point of this video, because I've got to refer to good and evil, because what we're facing here is evil. The Mccanns are evil, but unfortunately now, what the real truth of this is that there's good and evil in the world, and right now, evil is to me is winning. Not just with the McCann thing, but in the world, for goodness sake. Everywhere you look, evil's winning. Evil. And good is being pushed back into the shadows too much of the time. And I live on my own, and I have a lot of time to think about stuff, and I feel blessed, you know. And when I think about stuff, things strike me as fucking obvious, bleeding obvious, so obvious. Why can't other people see this? And I thought, well, they've got stuff on their minds. They haven't got time to think about this stuff, and they've been brought up this way. You've been brought up in a certain, let's say, religion, you know, and they're brought up a certain way, and this is the way it is. And yes, God, yes, there's God, but he's very much this sort of God or that sort of God, and he doesn't do that much for me personally. You know, I'm not that bothered. People are less and less spiritual, and I am absolutely not religious in any way, shape, or form. Let's just make that absolutely clear. But I spoke before, so you can watch the other video that I said about this. A field intelligence. You see a flock of starlings this time of year, flocking, ready to fly south, a bit warmer. But they move as one being. Linked intelligence, anyway. So do shoals of fish. So humans can link minds. Surely that's not such a daft concept. And when groups of humans link minds, then let's get into why quantum, you know, thoughts become things. People are understanding these things, but magical people throughout history have known. That's why these legends exist, because magic does real. It is real. It does work. So thoughts become things. That's why prayer works. Now, if you get one group of people all imagining that there's God, because there is God, they know there's God. There is God. You'll just have to take my word for that right now. You just will, because this, if you know there's God, you know there's God. So you're laughing right now. But bloody hell, it's hard to explain, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Without looking a total complete fucking nutcase. But there you go. I'm over the embarrassment of it, right? I believe in God. But let's make this clear. Let's make this clear. I don't know much about him. I've got this idea that if you all believe in an angry God, really this angry man, because he was, wasn't he? He made the earth, he did all this very, very well, and then, he's fucked it up, hasn't he? Goodness me, he's got no patience. He's made men behave badly, and he, like a fucking spoiled child, fucking hell, I've messed that up. Splash, dead, everybody. Now that's God. Is that God? Is that person God? Because if you think that, then that's the God that you get. If you believe in that sort of God, that's the God that you manifest for yourself. That's what you do there, if you believe in that shit. So you do one step up this fucking ladder, don't you? One step to consciousness, to plug in your fucking brain into the universe. You go that first step, and understanding that there is more than you, yes. And then, then you make the stupid error of asking your mate or his mate's dad, or that funny bloke who lives on the hill, and asking him what he thinks about this thing. There's something there, isn't there? What is it? Not only do I know what it is, I know his fucking name. I speak to him every other day. Really? If Moses goes up the hill, if somebody goes to have a word with God secretly in a secret place that you can't see, just, who gave you them? Who gave you those stone tablets? God. He passed them down. Where is he now? He's had to go. He's booked it off. Oh, well, so what did he say? He said, "Well, I'm boss." That's the first one. Well, he told me that. He told me to tell you. We gave me these. That's what. Yeah. Gave me these to give you. So what else did he say? Well, just. Thereby, you get a load of power, and you get a load of people all believing the same things and say, "Well, that's good." And somebody says, "Well, wait a fucking minute." What? Religions now, it's time, isn't it? We've got this fantastic thing of communication now. We don't have to upset anybody, do we? I'm not upsetting anybody, because I've said before, I've made this absolutely clear, haven't I? Said before that we're all brothers. aren't we? We're all brothers, whatever colour we are, whatever our race is. Go back far enough, we're all brothers. We so are. We are. Now we need to get with the program on this. Get with the fucking program. Because we are killing our brothers. In America, I was disgusted, and this is another reason. You haven't heard much from me because I pause, I wait and think, wait a minute, am I doing good here, or am I doing bad? I have a think about it. I think, why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I've got to. So that's one thing. Now, I was going to introduce you to my little cat. A little white ball of fluff came the other day, coughing up blood violently. Little kitten. And she's around somewhere. And Prince is around somewhere. Anyway. We saw George Floyd murdered in America. And yes, there was a huge amount of outrage, as there should have been. But what bothered me so much was that I'm an Englishman, and I'm an engineer, and I was lucky enough to travel the world, privileged to travel the world and meet people doing my job. But there was a bunch of people, ex-colleagues, used to work on turbines. I'll name them myself. They call themselves the baggies, Lincoln Turbine Service Engineers. And we won't go into names, but I saw some of these men, they're my age now, and they've travelled the world, and they're making comments about this Black Lives Matter, and they're saying, yes, of course, yes, all lives matter. Black Lives Matter, people are just, that whatever, whether you call it a political group or whatever, for fuck's sake, they're pissed off because they're being murdered. The black people in America, murdered every day by the white establishment in this day and age on the fucking television. Men getting murdered in the fucking street because of their race, because of the colour of their skin. Yes, okay, so the colour of their skin identifies them to a certain culture. You've got two fucking cultures killing each other. Killing our brothers. That's where we're at now. That's where the fucking world is at the moment. In America. Make America great again. Half of you fuckers voted for this moronic fucking Trump. What? What the fuck? He is a liar, a sexist, a xenophobist, a racist. He's one of the worst. He's a spoiled fucking brat. And you've elected him the fucking leader. Can't you say you are so fucking uneducated and backward and stupid and fucking yokel. You think this is a good man? Middle America. you Republicans. How did America get great? How did that happen? When was America great? Exactly. Leave it in the fucking comments. Jesus H fucking Christ on a bicycle. Half of the civilized, half of the, it's not civilized, is it? Half of the United States vote for that fucking buffoon that is Trump. You won't call racism, who's a Ku Klux Klan member. Now, as I said, what annoyed me were these turbine engineers who've travelled the world and they've not learnt. They've gone out as a white man into a vulnerable world in Africa and where they need turbines and stuff like that, so they haven't quite got the education and they haven't quite got the experience. So now this expert from the factory arrives, parachutes in and fixes the fucking problem like a god. And his ego fucking runs away with him and he thinks he's some sort of fucking... And they call themselves the baggies, this bunch of jokers. And when George Floyd was murdered, they had this Black Lives, yes, all lives matter. And then they start the little races back and forth, back and forth. The harder I worked, the luckier I got. Well, yeah. You had an education, didn't you? So anyway. This is a bit of a ramble, isn't it? But there you go. Let me just... Yeah, so I've got to say this, because it's stating the bleeding obvious. Yes, that's what it is. It's not costing me anything. And I know I'm right. I'm right. We're all brothers. And right, until we start treating ourselves like that, like we are, brothers, the world's not going to get any better. So, religions, let's just get back to that for a minute. I believe in God completely, totally, but I'm not religious in any way. And the reason for that is religions attempt to explain the nature of God when they don't know what it is. And then, so you get all of this nonsensical bollocks arriving. You've got a stupid God for every sort of stupid belief, all tailor-made, because you get groups of people, they manifest their own little God. And now here's me explaining this. Who the fuck are you? What do you know, Turner? Nothing. To make that clear. Apart from this one thing, there is God. More than that, where he came from, I say he because it feels right for me, but it could easily be a she or an it. But it feels right that I call it he for me. Now, that doesn't mean to say you've got to call it he. If you call it she, don't say you're talking about a different one than me, he, she, Allah. No, don't go there. Talking about the same thing. Whatever you call it, we're all talking about the same thing, aren't we? The same thing. Now then, we all got different concepts of this thing. and we've all got some different ideas. And religious people, you know that you can pray to this thing, and this thing is there. It's very, very real for you. I'm certain of it, just because it's very real for me. Because there is somebody there. God, there is God. So once you pray and you get an answer, then you don't need me to tell you that. But if you don't believe in God, well, you're not religious, something there. Let's examine what this something there might be. Because it's a collective consciousness. That's what it is. But if you limit it to that, you're limiting yourself, aren't you? Small scale Abrahamic angry gods on the earth might well a real thing, because man's mind was naive at that time. So the collective consciousness could have been naive and angry and immature, like a child, like a fucking angry child. Mess that up, start again. Kill everybody, kill all the first males. Angry child. And some people firmly believe that that is a version of God. And are very reverent to that sort of thing. Well, I'm not. But I don't want to upset anybody. I don't want to upset Jews, because you think you're chosen, forgotten that we're all brothers. Don't want to upset Muslims. I know you pray 5 times a day and you believe in the same God that I do. And for you, your God's very, very real. Again, he's an angry God though, isn't he? Your God. What all you people who believe so deeply in a version of God are doing is betraying him, his freedom that he's given you with his vast mind to consider just how colossal God really is. He's not just God of this planet. Because the universe is colossal. Now, when people start writing down, God did this, God made the earth, well, that might well be a God. Certainly a version of what we would call God, magical powers that created the earth. Could be done, could be engineered, couldn't it? If you've got enough power and you've got enough control of matter and you've got a good place to fucking stand, then you can manipulate matter. So, yeah, we call that a God. That God there could have created the earth. But was that just a mechanical? Was that a machine, maybe, from the past? Because the past has been going on gazillions of years, and it'll carry on for gazillions of years, even if there was nothing before the universe. You know, the universe collapses and then expands again, doesn't it? Slowly, are we in a big crunch or a big whatever? Will it carry on expanding forever? Or will it slow down and contract? The universe. It's big, it gets smaller. Big bang into nothingness, and then collapse. And back into a big crunch, perhaps, maybe. Who knows? And who knows about the collective intelligences that may have formed over gazillions of years in the past, and who knows what these collective intelligences will form in the future, and who knows? But can a collective consciousness exist? And does it exist now? And if it does, how powerful is it? And if a collective consciousness can be projected and used for good in a let's say a common purpose, you've got like common willpower, do you think? Could that be used? Could that be used as a power? It would be difficult, wouldn't it? It might be easier to use collective consciousness for evil, wouldn't it? That would be an easier thing to achieve, to get a load of people, and persuade them that we can go down the road here, there's 10 of us, and we've got big fucking sticks, we can go down there and we can rape and pillage, and we can have their women, have their food, and their horses, and their animals. We can come back here and live like kings. Yeah. Is it easier to persuade somebody to do something shitty than to persuade somebody to do something good? Well, it should be. It should be. Bloody hell. The world's out of control now because people like with Make America Great Again, what that really means is slavery that built America and our economy. That one man owning another man was a good system. I'm saying that now because, well, it's not a good system, is it? It fucking isn't. So capitalism. This is the problem with runaway capitalism. Because it's not empathic. More people are being persuaded to do this, to do evil, to cheat, to lie, to steal, to disrespect nature, to disrespect animals, to disrespect each other, to disrespect our brothers and our sisters and our animal friends. We're being taught disrespect. So, I don't know, actively, I don't know. So, yeah, it gave me pause. I nearly cut my leg off the other day. Just lighten up a bit now. See these granite chunks here, look, this arch. I made this. I cut these granite blocks out. They're different colours. You can't quite see. They perhaps need a massive clean. But I made this arch. I'm quite proud of it because I'm not a stonemason, and I built all this and did that. It's all right. It looks all right. But I'm now on another project where I've got porch in the gable end, and I was cutting. I got a disc grinder with a diamond disc on it, and I'm cutting these granite blocks with this thing. So it's a powerful tool. And I've only got myself to blame because I put my knee. I'm cutting this granite, and somehow I've managed, because it's an awkward angle, I've managed to put my knee directly in line of fire with this bit of granite, and I'm going on this granite with this powerful electric disc cutter, and the disc caught on a bit of rebar. I cut through the granite and there was some rebar there. It caught, and you know, I just a second before it bounced out and nearly cut my leg off. I thought, oh, just oh fuck, and it bounced out and it went right across the top of my quadricep. It cut 90% through the muscle. I looked down at it and I saw this all in my jeans and then the blood and white. There's white in there as well. And my phone was off. Orange, my phone line has been off for a month now, but anyway, it's back on now. So it's when you think right, if you panic now, this is where you're going to die. You'll die if you panic. So panic's not an option. Anyway, I managed to get a towel and wrap it around and get the string off the dressing gown and make a tourniquet around it because I nearly cut my leg off. I get in the car, I drive to a friend's house because I've got no phone, and they've got a dog that me and him, we don't get on that well. He bit me once. He bit me more than a couple of times. Never mind, he's only doing his job. Hello, Prince. Hello, Prince. Prince has come to see me. Where's my little cat? Where's the cat? You going to find her? So I tied the tourniquet on and got in the car. Yeah, I didn't get out. I drove to an amble in Pompeius, but there was nobody there. I thought, oh, where am I going to go now? I thought I could go in the vet, but this is in France, so they all think I'm a bit crazy. So I thought, oh, I won't go in the vet. I thought I can drive myself to the hospital. Well, there's either Saint-Breu or Dinan about this equal distance, both about 25 miles away. And I thought I'll go to Dinan for 1 reason or another. Well, I'll tell you what, because the indicator on my car was stuck. I didn't want to go down the motorway to Saint-Breu with it, so I've got to fix that. Yeah, I fixed it. Yeah. So Dinan was a bit more country road, so I thought I'll go that way. Mind the footwell of the car is filling up with blood now. It is automatic, but so I'm not using that leg. But even so, there's a lot of blood now on the seat. I feel it running down the back of my leg and everything. And I look down the bottom. There's a pool of blood pooling in the footwell of the car. And I'm driving to Dinan, and then I realise I can't remember fucking way to the hospital. You look out for those Red Cross signs. So yeah, I looked for them and drove myself, parked in the urgencies and and hobbled in. But yeah, but by then there was a big, the jeans were hanging off. And the towel was soaked through and everything, so I looked quite aside, dragging this leg behind me. So French, straight to it. I love them. Gotta love them. Very impressive they were so good. They were just bang, bang, bang. The team, just everything. Just clockwork. It was fucking clockwork. It was brilliant. I was I was actually feeling quite relaxed because my blood pressure dropped down to 60 over 40 or something ridiculously low like that. I can't remember. I can't remember. I thought it was 61 over. I can't. Could it have been that low? I'm feeling all right. They're all, and I'm looking at them more and thinking, oh, what nice people they all are. And they're sticking stuff in me and stuff to give me plasma, to give me bags of blood. I nearly went. I really nearly went because I was cold as well. They got one of these space age blankets and wrapped me up in that and blew a hot air heater in there. No, I remember that now. Yeah, because I nearly died of lack of blood, bloody hell. But then they sewed me up and fed me. Very nice French food in the hospital. So I looked at that and said, well, look, things happen for a reason. And what good came out of that? Yeah, quite a bit, really. And it was a bit of blood. It just gives you pause again, the thought. For me, if God was on my side there, provided those great, fantastic people to save my life. Yeah. He could easily have let me die. He could easily have sniffed my life out. He didn't. All of those people did their job so superbly. So I'm grateful to God for every day I have. And God is my fellow man, my brother. I've got more than I need or want, and I'm not going to steal anything or take anything from anybody because God will provide me with all the stuff I need. He just does. You have to have money and all of that shit, but somehow I find a way. So there's no need for all these rampant fucking capitalist stealing. Because we're stealing from, for nations to become great, you've got to have more than your fair share. Things have to get out of balance. You have to take stuff off people that doesn't belong to you. And that's evil. And that's capitalism. It's driving that is man's lack of empathy for each other. And that's what evil is. That's what it is. So we've got to face it. We've got to stand up to it. And the problem is that it is organised. It's got itself organised quite well. Operation Grange, the British police operation to find Madeleine McCann, is in fact an operation to protect the McCanns and manage the media. And it is evil. And it's not going to stand. So, probably gone on long enough, haven't I? Here we are. Let's in conclusion. There is God. Unfortunately, the natural laws of nature means that there is the devil too. And some people have sold their soul. And Jerry McCann is definitely one of them. And of course, Kent McCann and all of those people that protect them. People at Scotland Yard. They've been ashamed of themselves, haven't they? Cowards. You fucking cowards, aren't you? Emma Downs, Ant Wilkinson, Tom Moore. You constructive cowards. There's a price to pay. There's a price to pay for you. You'll have to pay. So, yeah, Operation Grange, Mccanns, you'll have to come after me. I'll wind this up then. There is no Madeleine McCann mystery, all right? If you think there is, just do some research. If you think there is, if you've got any doubt, look at what people like Sean Atwood, Sonia Fulton, there's many more. Just do some research. There's no doubt. There's no mystery. But you'll find that there's lots of people who are saying there's mystery. There's a mystery. It's not clear. It's not known. Who knows? Well, it could be anything. Loads of stuff. Those people, all of them, well, they're either short on intelligence, short on very, very short, or they are one of the hordes of Operation Grange operatives, because that's all they've been doing all of this time. And then, of course, they control the BBC and Channel 4, and that stupid woman, Scots woman who keeps on having Mccanns on, whatever her name is. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to wrap this up now. Mccanns are guilty, they are evil, protected by Operation Grange, good and evil. So this is just one now. I should be doing one every week. I'm going to try and marshal some forces against you evil fuckers in Scotland Yard and wherever you dwell, dark corners of the earth, you cockroaches living. Right, well, oh yeah, and this will upset a few people. I know. You've just got to do what you've got to do. Right, you've heard enough of me now. So, bye. I'll end.